In the last little forest, untamed and left wild, there lives a small person, but he's not a child. A leader of men, a leader of more. He's listened now, Gabe, he's ready for war. A powerful druid, but he cannot fly. He's in love with death, but he cannot die. His name it is Gary, and this is his story. His name it is Gary, revel in his glory. It's scary, but no more he can. It's scary, fuck yeah, Muad'Dib. His name it is Gary, and this is his story. His name it is Gary, revel in his glory. It's scary, but no more he can. It's scary, fuck yeah, Muad'Dib. His name it is Gary, and this is his story. His name it is Gary, revel in his glory. It's scary, but no more he can. It's scary, fuck yeah, Muad'Dib. It's scary, but no more he can. It's scary, fuck yeah, Muad'Dib.
Coming up next on BBC Two, it's the BradWOTO stream, but first, it's time for What Picture Has Bradley Drawn Onto a Piece of Paper?
Power surge.
How would you say your mental focus is?
Check Odyssey in the rain.
Destroy the child.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time for another fantastic episode of Twitch Plays D&D. But first, it's time to guess what I draw on a piece of paper in 60 fucking seconds.
I drew it very quick. I literally just drew it. What did I draw? 5 cacti and a weasel. Okay. The ending of Mist Light. Seg 3. The plains walking. Kobold. Dig free. Live free. The annoying orange. A perfect Mona Lisa. Any other guesses from the chat room? A Yeti. Alright, I'll do, I guess. Too late, Gabe. Too motherfucking late, Gabe. Oh, I would love to draw a particularly limp peen. My favourite thing to draw in the world is a penis. It makes me laugh so much. It's the funniest thing ever. I draw it all the time. And I don't mean just like a little shitty, scratchy penis that everyone draws. Like, I'm talking detail. I get that thing photorealistic. A perfect Mona Lisa, they screamed. I've got to close that door behind me. No, I attempted to draw Gary. I literally drew it in like fucking 60 seconds. I couldn't even remember what he looked like. I was like, he's got 4 arms and a weird nose, I think. So much weird stuff has happened to Gary. I was working on the intro. You know the, this one. I almost had it.
Alexander, a tiny world will take a person.
I almost had it. Got a new version of it, just a slightly updated, better version. But I was not fast enough. I ain't so fast at editing no more. I used to be the fastest in the world. No, it's because it takes fucking ages to render the things that I was using, the AI things. So it was like, you just have to wait forever for each one. I feel god awful today. How do you feel? I'm gonna do some D&D, play D&D on a Sunday. I've got to start the dice rolling bot as well, haven't I? Let's do that real quick, because I will forget. I always forget. Yes, yes. Meh. Oh, you back home? What's the deal with you? Knackered. I'm guessing. Get this bot running. Check it's working. You've been painting. Hungover? Not worth it, dude. It's not worth me drinking anymore. Can't do it. It's not worth it for me, bruv. I can't do it. Not no more. I said I can't do it no more. Feeling okay. Nice mug. Oh, this? It's actually a leftover of Emma's. They're small. Sometimes when you don't want a big fucking mug of drink, I know you could just pour half water in, but it always feels wrong. Every now and then, like an item in the house, I'm like, is this mine or Emma's? Is this a remnant of the beast? The fun of drinking really outweighs the 2 days of recovery. Yeah, I'm too old for it. It spikes my anxiety into the fucking stratosphere. I can't do it no more. I just can't do it. I woke up this morning and felt weirdly bad. I've been feeling a little better over the last few days. I've been taking it easy because, you know, don't go crazy or anything, but I've noticed a sort of marked up improvement over the last few days. Not significant, but I just feel more human. I'm able to, you know, do stuff. I feel a bit more like I'm myself. And I woke up this morning and was like, just coughing blood up. Fucking just like every symptom that has been plaguing me for the last couple of weeks. And of those symptoms, they're random as fuck. It's like flu symptoms and feeling sick and nauseous and kind of dizzy and headachy and just felt really weird. Also, just like weird stomach pains constantly. My heart feels like it's like trying to fucking claw its way out of my chest. And I got hit by all of them. And I was like laying there like, oh, what the fuck is happening to me? Got up and like steadily made my way into the front room. I was texting Lux. She was like, I found a video game for you to play. And I was like, I ended up playing Death Must Die, which is just Vampire Survivors. It's the same game. But yeah, man, I did not feel well for the first little bit of being awake. And I was like, I think I need to take these fucking anti-anxiety medicine because I felt so bad and my body just felt fucking crazy because I haven't taken them for a few days because I've been feeling a bit better and I was like, I've got to do it even though I'm allergic to them. I'm trying to like get my body to not be having an allergic reaction anymore, and I'm like, great, here we go again, it's activating. So I took 2 of these pills, took a bunch of fucking antacids, Gaviscon. Tried to eat some food. I've been drinking these they're like protein shakes. They're like anti-anorexia shakes is what they are. Give you just a bunch of carbs and protein. Yeah, and I just don't feel right today. I don't know what it is exactly. Played a few games of PUBG with Leah and Talon and Liam just to keep my mind off of it all. I definitely don't feel as bad as I felt this morning, but man, when I woke up, I felt bad. I was like, oh, Jesus. I've been trying to just kind of get myself stream ready, which I am. I feel a bit better now. I took those pills and I think I just need to get away from it. But waking up is so difficult. Waking up is so difficult. Not like I struggle to wake up, but like I just feel really horrible in the mornings and then it steadily goes away throughout the day. I've had it for ages. I've always felt like that's how my anxiety works as well, but rough, dude. I just woke up and we're practically in the same time zone, Brad. What is wrong with you? Nothing. Normally, if I didn't have this like sickness, I get up at like 10 or 11. So you're sort of preaching to the choir, really. Are the anorexia shakes sugar-free? I don't know. I haven't even looked. I don't know what's in them. I just drink it. I don't care at this point. I hit such a fucking wall with this shit on Friday or Thursday or something. Oh, I hit a wall with it, man. I was like completely I was so exhausted. I was so tired. I was so sick of not getting any help from any doctors and just them giving me the wrong pills and stuff like that. I was so sick of calling everyone up. I was so sick of forcing myself to eat. I was so sick of all of it. And something in my brain snapped. Just burst through a wall. And I've not felt as bad since. At least mentally. I don't know what it is. I just fucking gave up being stressed about it. And that's where I'm at. Yeah, I tried Death Must Die. I've been playing Tinkertown. Have you started it up yet, Lux? I would invite you to my little world, but I don't I don't know if you would want it. I mean, it's just not worth it, is it? Because you're going to put in 75 hours a day. I went shopping today. What did you buy? Food shopping, or like did you go and do like, is it one of those like staring, open up the doorway, and you like put your hair back and you put on a nice dress and you went out and you bought a bunch and you got like walking down the street with like bags over your shoulder and like other ones, and you've been clothes shopping and bought loads of makeup and fucking stuff. Open up the mini doorway and illuminate the words that you cannot find reaching. One of those. Like, I don't even care if he doesn't love me anymore. I don't even care that he doesn't love me anymore. I'm gonna treat myself. Today is the first day of the rest of my life. That's what she did. She went shopping. No, it was for food, she says. The most non-Lux thing ever. To go and do one of those, like, LA girl shopping sprees. No, I went and killed fucking cow with bare hand. With my 18 brothers. I catch cow and I pin it to ground. 18 brothers come in and kick the fuck out of his head. Then we tear it apart with our hands and carry it home to mother. Mother is cook it now. What you are talking about staring at open doorway? I have had same dress for 15 years. Because she lives in like medieval fucking churning butter times. Medieval churning butter times. Dude, how annoying is it living in like Eastern Europe and everyone thinks that you're literally just living in 1721? Earlier than that. People don't, it would be like, what? We think you're living in like 1408. And you go there and they got cars and phones. She's playing Tinkertown on a Steam Deck. But in my head, she's having to like sew her own fucking clothing on one of those fucking wheels, you know, that they used to have. The Rumpelstiltskin. God, it's gotta be so annoying. Being Eastern European and having to deal with everyone else's bullshit. So she went out shopping. She broke up with him again. I broke up with him again. Today is the first day of the rest of my life. I'm not gonna think about him ever again. Meanwhile, she is roasting a pig and playing Tinkertown. Yeah, we played Tinkertown with the Fellowship years ago, if anyone remembers. And it's just, it's the same as Terraria, you know, like, or Core Keeper or whatever. One of those kind of games where you just chop down a tree and get wood, and the wood lets you build a fucking workbench, and the workbench lets you build a furnace, and then you get some iron, and then you build an armor, and then you go out a bit further. I really want a game like that to play that actually like makes me crack addicted to it, though. That's the thing that's winding me up, is I'm not addicted enough to it. I think it's because my consciousness is returning. I've been in a sort of semi-conscious state for weeks and not really. It sort of shuts up the ADD. It sort of shuts up the fact that I feel like I should be doing more, but also when it comes back and I feel like I can do more with my time, I've struggled to just sit and play a game, because I'm like, I should go and edit that thing, and I should work on this other thing, and I should do that, and oh, what if I did this, and you know. But the problem is when I actually get up and try and do those things, I'm like, oh, still don't have the energy to do it. So my consciousness is returning, but my energy levels are not. It's really annoying. Although I have been working on a few things. Oracle's Rest Live. Who likes D&D? Do you like Dungeons and Dragons? Well, now you can. Let's watch the old Oracle's Rest intro. So I made one for Mythan Matix. I had we did 2 episodes, 1 episode of Oracle's Rest live. Anyone remember? A long time ago. Or like Dungeons and Gagents. Shut the fuck up, Wax Steven. Has anyone actually replied to my message? No. No one. No one wants to play. Wack doesn't want to play? Wow, betrayed. If Wack isn't playing, I'm not actually that interested in running it. Where did I put it then? Video. Intro. Is this it? This might be it. Hold on, this might blow your ears out.
Previously on Oracle's Rest. The party joined the Jacks.
This is a previously. That's not what I wanted. I had Myth make me one, but I don't know where I put it. Is it this one? Yeah, this is it. What's this? This is still playing.
Evervale. No, wait, wrong show. Ever-Earth. A vast world.
Myth's show, Spellwind, was set in Evervale, and around the same time, I created this world which I called Ever-Earth. I can't remember why it's called Ever-Earth now. There was a good reason for it, but a lot of the stuff that I made up for Oracle's Rest, I didn't write down. And so now I just have this really cool world with lots of lore, but I only remember some of it.
World made up of 7 kingdoms. I won't bore you with every little detail. You've seen a D&D show before. Orcs, sea monsters, swords, shields, magic, you name it. It's here. Except for me, Mythomatic. I'm not in this one. Well, I usually am. I play the character Umlaut. He's a Star Guardian druid, warlock, warforged, treant hybrid. He's probably one of the most interesting characters in the campaign, but unfortunately, he's not in this chapter of the campaign either. The characters you will be meeting today are part of a huge unaffiliated guild that exists across Ever-Earth known as the Jacks Guild. Multi-skilled members who are hired to take on a variety of jobs, from combat-based epic adventures to helping old grandpas sweep their porch. The group we are following are already established Jack Guild members who have completed a variety of quests, earning renown, gold, and treasures along the way. They've laughed, they've cheered, and cried. They've won, they've lost, and died for all manner of things. So let's head to the idyllic kingdom of Vale, in the central location of Stone Town, to a strange, ship-shaped building that houses the Jacks Guild, and find out who's picking a quest from the board at the local tavern, the Oracle's Rest.
So that was the first time that we ran Oracle's Rest, and what I actually didn't realize was I also have this. What is this?
Previously on Oracle's Rest.
Listen to it.
The party joined the Jacks Guild. With a drop of their blood, their uniquely tuned Jacks stones are created. Ibby Buzzfizz needs help with a werewolf. The party dispatch it easily.
Oh my god, I forgot about the werewolf.
Is that a small cut on Abe's hand?
Yeah, Abe's got.
Old Millicent gave the gang some cookies. Holy crap, that Warforged just lost all the metal on his body. That's an X-rated bookstore.
Oh yeah, they went
Zolan
to the
10 Shadow has
bookstore.
stolen a white dragon egg on behalf of the Church of Tiamat. Not good. That halfling is about to be eaten by lizard men. Oops, half the party just got wiped out by upsetting Rythnax the Black.
Yeah, it did.
Hey look, that halfling put the metal back on that Warforged with some dragon scale upgrades. Nice.
Yeah.
Who are these Minotaur bros? They look familiar. Puppy! Collected 17 glow blossoms. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh, the dead king is attacking a heck of a lot of towns across the kingdom.
They had to save the whole fucking town.
That was close. Back to business as usual. Wait, what's wrong with Abe? Is it the werewolf thing? No? Oh, he can't speak? Infection? Magical spores? Locate the source then. It's where? The Underdark. Oof. Alright, that fortress looks bad. Oh, there's a black dragon outside. Not the same one? No? Okay, thank the Lord. Oh, it's his daughter. But she likes you. She's showing you a secret way in. Awesome. Holy shit, you guys slaughtered those poor kobolds.
This was after
There's more of them upstairs. Sounds a hell of a lot like roll initiative to me.
Yeah, so then they went into the Feywild. Then they went and did a whole bunch of quests in the West. So really, there actually hasn't been a lot. We haven't played that much since. And then I made another one. And it's ready. Listen. Ever Earth. A vast world made up of... It's the same script as I used for Myths, but obviously I had to I updated it a little bit. Ever Earth. A vast world made up of 7 kingdoms. I won't bore you with every little detail. You've seen a D&D show before. Orcs, sea monsters, swords, shields, magic, you name it. If you've heard of it, and maybe if you've imagined it, you'll find it here somewhere. That's all you get. So I've been able to work on some things. That was where I was going with that tangent. I've been working on some stuff, but I've been trying to figure out how to do Oracle's Rest Live, because it was a long time ago. It was like at the beginning of the year, but I said that we would do an Oracle's Rest Live. Sometimes these projects take a bit longer. I know that sometimes you're like, I paid for this thing. Where's my Mistlight 2? Where's my Oracle's Rest Live? Where's my Brad cooking stream that I paid for? I still got them in now. They're coming. But trying to figure out how to do the cooking stream from this apartment, by the way, has been a nightmare. Just awful. And I thought it was going to be so much easier because I think I can do it from this computer because my kitchen's there. It's just been horrendous. So, yeah, the plan is to do some Oracle's Rest. It'll probably be at the beginning of August. It'll probably be for 3, I think we're going to do 3 episodes of Oracle's Rest Live. What is Oracle's Rest? It's our offline D&D show that we all play in. All of your favorite streamers. There's loads of us in it that I run randomly. When I have mental health power, I can run an episode of it for the gang. I run a few sessions. It honestly just tends to be in summer, and then as soon as winter rolls around, I'm like, guys, I don't think I have the energy to run several D&D shows a week. I'm thinking of drowning myself. So and then summer rolls around and I'm magically better again because the sun's out, and then I still don't move to Spain. I'd love to clone myself. It would be so fucking useful. The irony is, if I cloned myself and the two of us lived opposite times of the day or something like that, I would still only get the amount of work done that an average one person would get done, because I'm just so mentally disabled at this point. So if you want to watch some Oracle's Rest, if you want to watch some D&D, I'm going to be running those. I think we're just going to jump into it at the point that they're at in the story. Which honestly means I'll probably plan a load of stuff and then they won't do it and we'll end up doing something else. But it's a very casual game. A lot of it has been I use the Adventurers League stuff. So it's not exactly all my like immediate creation. The world and how I adjust it into it is, but I tend to run quite a few like modules and stuff from the Adventurers League stuff. So it's a weird hack job of stuff that I've come up with, stuff that fucking ChatGPT came up with because they decided not to go left, and like a module or an Adventurers League thing that I grab and put in. So some of the names will be, you'll be like, oh, the Ruins of Razalith adventure. Yeah, I played through that with my party, and then you'd hear about our version, and you're like, that wasn't in it. You did it wrong. And it's because I just took bits of it and threw it in, and then took the rest of it and threw it out. I'll just roll 4 more 7s, yeah. We'll see. Let me just double check what you were saying as well. But yes, if you're in here, Whack, I would like to look at that. Maybe like Wednesday or something though, if you're down. I'm dying today, and this is going to kill me. I know that as soon as this stream ends, I'm going to need to just sit and not learn anything. I've been studying this week to the best of my ability for something that I will talk about another time. But it's hard. I can feel my brain just not fully switched on, and I'm not really absorbing information. I'm feeling better and I'm able to do a bit more, but retaining information isn't working yet. It's the weirdest feeling. I have not felt this strange, because it's an overall feeling of strangeness, the withdrawal, because all of my neurotransmitters have gone haywire. A lot of my mental transmitters, all of my synapses and stuff have gone crazy. So you get a lot of different feelings, but it's just like, you know, you get brain fog, you feel hyper, you feel really tired and fatigued, and it's just like you're jumping around all these different feelings. But I've noticed it's like having just loads of switches on a switchboard of things that normally take multiple days or whatever to flip and switch, but they're all just going crazy all the time. But retaining information is not one of them. I haven't been able to. It's annoying as shit because I've done nothing but sit still, watching TV and playing my fucking Steam Deck and iPad, and it's such good time to be reading, to be learning. I could have been learning something. I could have been learning a new software. I could have been learning a fucking, you know, a skill. I could have been writing. I could have been editing something, and I just haven't been able to do any of it. And it's really, really frustrating to just sit there, be hyper aware of how much time you're wasting, just sat for 2 weeks straight, unable to do anything, just watching the minutes tick by. It's really frustrating. But yeah, I do think that the switch needs to be made. Whack. I'm just like loath to like really learn it, but I think once we do, and like all the time and effort and the money that we've put into the other one. But you get to watch those shows a second time like new. Yeah, maybe. Well, I've been watching Critical Role almost exclusively. I'm really glad I thought about that. Like, just before I was feeling unwell, like I knew this was coming to a degree. I didn't think it was going to be this intense, but just before I got sick, I was like, when next time I feel like shitty and just have to sit on my sofa for a day and play Hearthstone, why don't I watch Critical Role? There's so much of it. And not just Crit Role, but like things like Dimension 20 and all those other shows. I was like, why don't I should watch D&D shows. It's the perfect background music. Just it's on in the background while you're doing something. I'm really glad I thought about that because it's really saved me these last 2 weeks. I don't know, I've run out of so much TV. I've watched all the TV shows and all the movies that there are. Or at least stuff that wouldn't be... Because some stuff you don't want to be watching when you don't feel well. You're not going to sit there and watch The Wire while you're feeling unwell. It's just gonna make you feel worse. So, you know, it needs to be a certain type of show. But yeah, man, I've banged out so much of campaign 2 of Crit Role. All it's done is made me want to play D&D a lot, and I can't even work on D&D stuff. But I've got a few things, finally a few little fires stoked. I'm gonna try and get this Oracle's Rest live show going. I'm gonna do a little short, you know, a little peek behind the curtain into our offline game that we play and we've been playing for several years. And then I've got a couple of other things that I want to work on. We're gearing up kind of for Endgame of Cura, maybe. It very much depends on them and what they do, but the next few episodes of Cura are going to determine how much Cura is left, really. It's kind of on them. And you'll see what that means when we get to it. So it could be that Cura could come to an end within the next couple of months. And then I'm going to work on this Light 2 stuff. Which I kind of have I might have a new plan for, but I just need to... I can only really work on one big project at a time, you know. I need a clone. A shadow clone would be very useful. Or I need to not be fucking mentally ill all the time. You know, if I could work at the level that I used to work at, you know, 5-10 years ago, it would be unbelievable how much stuff I'd be able to get done. Now, would I burn out? Yes. Did I burn out a few years ago and that's half the reason I'm in this mess? Yeah. Don't overwork yourself. It's not worth it. You have to pay for it eventually. The old troll toll. And you'll pay it. Double. So yeah, man, a couple of things going on with D&D. Looking forward to like setting that stuff up and looking forward to running it and hoping that I'm just in a good spot. I think I'm giving myself to the end of this month. I know that's like a long time, but I'm giving myself another 2 weeks before I really start planning to do anything with my life. Just continue to be sat here doing nothing. But I'm hoping that, you know, come August I'll actually have a couple of months where I'm able to do things and be motivated. How many of you spend your entire life just going, oh, I'll feel much better next week? Yeah, I just got to get through today and I'll feel better tomorrow. I think probably by next month I'll be able to work on this other thing. God damn it. But until then, we have ourselves a little... I wonder if I just export this. Want to see a half-edited version of the intro, or do you want to just wait till next week? Yeah, you can wait till next week. Let's play some D&D.
Under a tiny world will take a person only a matter of weeks to travel from one side to the other. Once a lush, verdant planet, Rixander's rain had stopped falling. What had stopped it? And how? Was this something to do with the warring empires? Was it a new unknown threat? Or perhaps it was the new major tech and steam-powered technology from the Hutchtan matriarchy or Kosusiv Reinti. Long ago, the world was treated as an experiment by the gods. They were trying to discover the most powerful species they could make. Just a fun game for them became our world as we know it, in the finals of the Kraven trials. Humans faced off against Noms. The humans won. In a final test, the gods pitted the humans against the dragons. The dragons tore the world apart, destroying any semblance of society. Now, after 1,000 years, the mans have rebuilt. Two great kingdoms, constantly at war. And between them, the last forest. The only place of green in our dying world. And inside that forest, the last Nom. My name is Gary, and this is my story.
Yes, it is time. Those subs didn't count, I guess. To continue playing D&D. This is our D&D Sunday show, in which you play the character, the main character, Gary, who is a druid gnome, who is heading across the world to try and save the world from the Hutchtan matriarchy, who are using magitech, and it is killing the planet. Very Final Fantasy VII, even though the entire thing has been randomly and procedurally generated right before your very eyes. We roll for everything. We rolled for the world, we rolled for the character, we rolled for all the different things that happen. And we rolled everything. We roll everything. The last session, you sort of completed the first like story arc of Gary's adventure in the forest. He went to the swamp, united all the people of the swamp, and fought with Rindor the Calm, a white dragon. Thank you, Cat. Thank you for the prime. And you caught him in a Master Ball from Pokemon with a Deus Ex Machina wheel spin. With the sort of the forest and the swamp returned to stability, Gary set out with Seg, his kobold ally, and they went into the desert. Traveling through the desert, you got caught up in a fight with some lizards, and then with another Deus Ex Machina, a giant sandworm arrived. Being Muad'Dib, you rode on the sandworm to escape the lizards and came to a little town which was called I don't remember. I think it was just, I don't think it had a name. I think it was just called the Desolate Hamlet. It's just an empty town. There were these bird-like people. Fury Road, that's right. Oh yes, we have the map. We have a world map. Remember, I've been barely functioning for 2 weeks. I don't know how I've run any of these sessions. Yes, you went from the last forest over to like here and then ended up over here in Fury Road. There were some bird-like creatures here, sort of emu creatures. One of them, Nan Oki, came over and nursed Gary and Seg back to health. After sort of asking what's going on, you told them about the forest, and they were very interested in the forest when suddenly the village came under attack. A random encounter was spawned again on the wheel spin, and something started to approach. And I think this is what I want. I think that's where we pick up today, isn't it? Now, this is an incentivized D&D game, which means you can pay to win. You can also kind of pay to lose. There is a wheel spin up here. With every gift sub, or with every resub, or with every sub, the little thing goes up. At 10 subs, we spin the wheel and something random will happen. There's a bunch of random things on there. Things that include next roll being a 20, a potion, an item, teleporting, 25% XP, a Deus Ex Machina, a full heal, quad vantage, things like that. It can also spawn an encounter or a boss battle, which is what is happening to you right now as you see the emu folk run off. They speed it. They're so quick with their long legs. They run off out of Fury Road and over the sands. Seg and Gary do not have those kinds of speeds. They both sort of turn to look at something which is coming up over one of the sand dunes here. This creature that is a sort of reptilian thing starts moving over the sand dune. Two long arms like knives reaching and clawing up over the sand dune before a neck with a horrible, horrendous looking, toothy reptoid face and long tongue snaps over the top of the sand dune. This thing is known as a Kruthic, and it is going to attack. This thing is known as an adult Kruthic. It would be great if that would save, huh? When I click the save button. Save, thank you. We're going to start today with initiatives. So let's roll a d20. Exclamation point, roll d20 in the chat will be what Gary rolls for his initiative. I'm going to roll for the adult Kruthic, and we've also got Seg with us. I feel like Seg's supposed to have more HP, right? No? Okay. He's so squishy. Okay, Gary has a +1 to his initiative, and you guys have rolled a 9. So Gary goes on an initiative roll of 10. From now on, we'll take the second roll, but we don't need to for the first one. The first person to respond in this fight is Seg. He looks up and sees this thing climbing over a nearby sand dune. Seg says, "Oh fucking, what the fuck is that?" Pulls out his sword. Now remember, Seg has the blade from Sword Art Online. That's the delay on my brain today. But you know what else? He's got a short bow. I think he's probably going to fire his short bow because fuck running at this thing. Let's do that. Seg fires a short bow at on a natural 1. Let's have you roll the consequence. A d20, please. We take the second roll. On natural 1s, I have a consequences table. This is a ranged critical fail. The first roll of the day from Seg being a natural 1. As this creature starts climbing over this sand dune, sees Seg, sees Gary, sights them down, thinks it's found dinner. 2 small creatures in front of him. Seg nothing more than sinew and bone. Gary a tiny little childlike figure in front of him. The Kruthic looks hungry as it snaps its jaws. Let's go. So not that 4, we're going to keep rolling. We're going to take the second roll. And the natural 1 consequence. A 7. All enemies are made aware of your location. So all good. Doesn't actually, not too bad. An arrow whips past the Kruthic's head. It's already aware of Seg and Gary, but I think the Kruthic is not really going to do much about it. Now it's Gary's turn. Here's what Gary can do on his turn. Thorn Whip, Thunder Wave, Quarterstaff, Ice Knife. He's got a few spells. Thunder Wave, Beast Bond, Protection from Evil and Good, Enhance Ability, Healing Spirit, Warding Wind. What does that do? A strong wind blows around you in a 10-foot radius and moves with you, remaining centered on you. The wind lasts for the spell's duration. The wind has the following effects. It deafens you and other creatures. It extinguishes unprotected flames. It hedges out vapor and gas and fog. It's difficult terrain for other creatures. The attack rolls of ranged weapons have disadvantage. Alright. So let's get over here. Oh, let's get everything on the screen here. What does Gary do? What did I say he has? Thorn Whip, Thunder Wave. I'm not going to tell you what they all do. If you've never played D&D before, just go with the one that sounds coolest to you. If you don't understand all of the stuff you're hearing. Ice Knife. There's Fairy Fire, which will give you advantage on attacks. Enhance Ability, which will give you a plus something to something. And now we'll take some creative answers from the chat. If you have any suggestions for what Gary does now. You are Gary. And what does Gary do in first round of combat here? He is 45 feet away from the monster. What would you like Gary to do? Go west. Alright. Beast Bond. One more option from the chat. Where is everybody? We done? We're done now. We know we don't want to play anymore. All right. The choice is yours. Get those votes in. Sorry, I took the opportunity to go and pee because I really needed to pee. Thunder Wave. I take back what I said about just going with the one that sounds coolest to you. A self 15-foot cube sweeps out from you. Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you must make a con saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away from you. This is probably going to kill Seg. I'm going to assume Gary's going to try and run closer. So we're going to move him over to here. Are you within 15 feet? You are. Let's go. It's Thunder Wave o'clock. Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away from you. Is there a button for Thunder Wave? Level 1? What level do we cast this at? You can do level 1, 2, or 3. When you cast this spell using a spell slot of second level or higher, the damage is increased by 1d8. Okay. So, I guess we come quickly back over here. At what level does Gary cast Thunder Wave? Level 1, level 2, level 3. The choice is yours. It is time. I'll give you a minute on each vote. It's neck and neck between level 1 and level 2. How much damage do you want to do to this thing? Can see flee. Beth drinking. Looks down, sees a little thing that jumps out of her vision. I can see a flea. Between level 1 and level 2. Okay. Then I shall decide for you. We're gonna roll a 1d2. Level 1. Gary begins charging up. Pink energy coalescing around him. And he lets out the thunder wave. The Kruthic must make a Constitution saving throw. There's a +2, a 6. It's an epic fail. Gary is casting Thunder Wave at level 1. It's going to do 9 thunder damage and it pushes the creature away 10 feet. The creature climbs over the top and Gary is moving. He's running Naruto style. His little legs pitter-pattering on the ground. His forearms out behind him. And then suddenly, as the creature looks down and begins to move over the sand dune and move towards Gary, it is fucking launched off the top of this fucking rock. Launched off this sand dune. It is gone. It flies 10 feet away from Gary, landing and rolling over in the sand, kicking up dirt and taking 9 points of damage. Okay. I think I'm going to make it make a dex save. See whether it's prone. It is prone. It has to spend half of its movement standing up, which is 20 feet. It stands up and it can move 20 feet now. Can it get to Gary? Oh, it can. Suddenly, Gary, thinking the nightmare is over, Seg in the background clapping. The creature climbs up, these horrible knife-edged legs rushing across the sand dune and back down towards Gary. Gary kind of barely able to react as this creature is now going to attempt to attack Gary. It has a stab attack. A 7 is a miss. Gary brings up his little shield. He's got a shield, right? Does he have a special shield of some sort? I feel like he has a shield, but I can't remember what it was. This enormous knife-like leg. Gary crushed under the weight. Suddenly, a spike. From what? What is the spike? Its tail? With a spiky tail, like a fucking dinosaur. Swings at Gary. And that is going to deal 6 piercing damage to Gary. Gary stops one knife-like arm with his shield. Then looking around, you see this spine of a tail whip around. Gary looks down, blood seeping through his clothing as Gary takes 6 points of damage. That ends Gary's turn, but you have successfully earned yourselves a wheel spin. Let's see what happens before we take the next turn. An item. Start rolling. You get an item based on a random set of tables. I've got many item tables. I pick one at random and then there are 20 on each. And you will get one of them. Let's go. We take the second roll. Exclamation point roll D20 in the chat room if you want to get involved. You don't need to pay. You can pay if you want and earn things, but to play, you just roll exclamation point roll D20. That would have been a 20, but it isn't. We have to take the second roll because we need the bot to refresh each time. So keep rolling. We take the second roll and you'll get a random item. And these are random. Some of them are amazing and some are just completely pointless. It's a non-magical item. Magical item is on the wheel spin. And if you come up with any good ideas for things to go on the wheel spin, put them in the Discord. Put them come in the week and catch me when I'm just doing a normal stream. Because I am still... If you come up with anything to go on this wheel spin, I will add it to it. A 3, okay. As Gary is hit by this spike, he sees something glimmering in the sand. He's got 4 arms. Fuck it. He reaches down and swipes it up. It's hot. Between 2 of his 4 arms and hands, he moves this thing. He has a metal canteen. Now, this is a mildly magical item, I guess, because whenever it is opened, it is a metal canteen of steam. Metal canteen of steam. Whenever this is opened, a jet of steam is released. Okay. So it's a little canteen. Whenever you open it, it shoots steam out. That is the item you just earned yourselves. Thank you very much for the gift subs, everyone. I appreciate it. This is the only stream of the week that I make any money on, so... Thank you very much. Let's see. It is the end of the Kruthik's turn. It's Seg's turn. Seg. Rambo of the Swamp. Can he get there? Can Seg make the travel? He can just about make it. Seg runs forward. Arms out behind him, Naruto style. As he gets to the Kruthik, he pulls the blade from the scabbard. He does the... A line is cut through the air. Seg is going to make an attack here. He has a +1 longsword and a shield, so he's got one-handed attack here. He has pack tactics, which means he has advantage. That's a 1, not a natural 1, just a 1. Why? Oh, I think he might have the wrong stat here. Hold on. Why does he have -2 +1 to hit? He's using strength. That's why he's using strength. Can I switch this? Alright, it should be this. Because it's a long sword. I think he should have a +3 to hit. It's hard because he's an NPC, so he doesn't have all of this stuff. So I mean, it doesn't change anything. He's still going to miss. This would have been 3. It would have been a 7. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He misses. Completely misses. 100%. He looks up at the Kruthik. The Kruthik looks down at him. Oh, fuck, I missed. Gary's turn. How can we simplify this? Gary has so much stuff to do. I wonder if we do something like this. What does Gary do? We'll do this instead. What does Gary do? Physical attack. Cast a spell. Heal. Run. Hide. Hide. Dodge. Item. What else? Oh, get creative. Get creative. Wild shape can be under spell, even though it's not technically a spell. Maybe a Hail Mary Nat 20 at the DM's discretion, or a card from the deck of many things. From Jaeger. Nope, that's not how this works. Thanks for the $10. Jaeger, my demented old friend. There is a mechanic that I don't know how you're not aware of it yet. We spin the wheel. On subs only. Do you not have the ability to gift subs? If you don't, I'll figure out some way for you. I didn't want to overcomplicate the whole thing and have, you know, every single thing. Bits and fucking donations and stuff. It's like so much, isn't it? But next vote. Physical attack or get creative. Which one? Someone vote. Tiebreaker. Where is everyone today? National holiday? Physical attack. It is time. So what can Gary do? He can hit it with a quarterstaff. That's really it. That's really it, isn't it? So I guess he's just going to attack with a quarterstaff. I don't even need to ask what he's going to do. He's got his shield out. Let me check he does have a shield. He doesn't have a shield. You see a shield on there? He should have one, shouldn't he? Wooden shield. Oh yeah. And is it affecting his AC? It is. Okay, we're good, yep. Alright, a quarterstaff attack. Gary pulls out. He's got 4 arms, remember. Donatello. Boom! He's going to try and hit the Kruthic. A 13 to hit. The Kruthic's AC is 18? Fuck. Seg and Gary both come to the same realization here. Seg comes in with his sword. Gary hits this thing. Dong! This thing's armor, the chitin that is sitting over the top of this creature, is thick. Maybe there is some other way to deal with this creature. Gary has a bonus action which he can use to cast Balm of the Summer Court. As a bonus action, you can choose one creature within 120 feet of you and spend a number of those dice to heal yourself. You should have 3 of them, right? Because he hasn't used one. Heal. What does Gary do? Does Gary heal? Yes? No. The choice is yours. Last interaction with the bank today, I'm afraid. Oh no. He's in trouble. Well, it didn't answer my question anyway. It wasn't what I asked, but thank you for the cash. I'll accept it. Thank you very much. Fletch Kane, Shadow, Femore, Godzilla, Cat, Chen, Big Onion. Thank you so much for the subs. Yes, he's gonna heal. All right. I mean, that's an overwhelming yes, isn't it? So let's do this then. So Gary can heal with Balm of the Summer Court. He uses one of the dice he has and heal himself because Seg's fine. It is a D6 and 1 temporary hit point per die spent. He's going to use one of those. Roll a D6. It's 3 HP back. 1, 2, 3, and 1 temporary hit point. Just in time for the creature to lash out again with 2 targets in front of it. The creature is going to attempt to knife Gary and spike Seg. A stab on Gary on a 20, a dirty 20 for Gary. It's going to strike Gary and deal 9 piercing damage. Gary tries to... He hits this thing with his quarterstaff and then finds this thing as it... An underarm strike, and this thing stabs Gary. Another wound as blood begins to run down the front of Gary. These 2 abdominal strikes. And then an attack with a spike towards Seg on a 12. What is Seg's AC? Seg's AC is 15 with the shield. So Seg just dodges out of the way as this tail swings underneath. It is Seg's turn. Seg, I guess, will just try and strike once again. With pack tactics, he has advantage. Seg's attack, an 18 will hit. So we take the higher of the 2 dice here. These are the numbers. Those of you that have never played D&D before, what's happening is we're rolling dice, and the creatures have a certain number that is their armor class. If you beat that number, you're able to successfully strike them and potentially deal damage. 6 slashing damage to the Kruthic. Seg actually looking across the creature here sees an opening and jams this sword forward, finding a soft piece of flesh underneath the chitin of the creature and wrenching the blade free. You see blood. The creature, horrible lizard-like tongue lashing out and snapping towards the kobold that has struck him. Okay, Gary's turn. What does Gary do? Let's simplify it first again. Physical attack. Cast a spell. Wild shape. Heal. Run. Hide. Dodge. Item. Get creative. Let's go. Hi, Rupom. The choice is yours to vote on what Gary does next. What does Gary do next? Physical attack, cast a spell, get creative. The choice is yours. You vote in the chat room by typing the number next to the one that you want to happen. You can also spin the wheel with gift subs. The wheel may be spun, and something random will happen. Maybe it'll be a Deus Ex Machina. Maybe another Kruthic will show up. It's hard to say until we spin the wheel of fortune. How fortuitous the wheel has become. Cast a spell, wild shape. Alright. So, let's take a look here at what Gary can do. In fact, actually, let's bring that back up. So, he can wild shape into several creatures, right? So this is just transform into a beast. He can cast Thorn Whip, Thunder Wave, Ice Knife, Healing Spirit, Fairy Fire. Just gonna put all the useful ones in here. Beast Bond, Enhance Ability. What do those ones do, you cry? Well, Wild Shape will turn him into an animal. Thorn Whip is a cantrip. A long whip that you attack the creature with. If it hits, it takes 1d6 piercing damage, and you can pull it 10 feet closer to you. Thunderwave is an explosion from himself, but it will hit Seg. Fairy Fire will put the creature, will sort of put a outline the creature, and you'll have advantage to any strikes against it in the future. Ice Knife, you throw a shard of ice and fling it at the creature. It takes 1d10 piercing damage, and then it explodes. Each creature, that would be both Seg and Gary, would be struck by an additional set of shards potentially there. Beast Bond, you can establish a telepathic link with one beast you touch that is friendly to you or charmed by you, and it will become a friend. And Enhance Ability, you touch a creature and bestow upon it a magical enhancement, and you choose one of the following effects. You can give them advantage on con checks, you can give them hit points, you can give them strength, you can give them carrying capacity, you can give them dexterity bonuses, advantages on cunning and charisma and shit. Wild Shape. Now, what are the creatures that he can turn into? Gary is going to turn... Oh, he can turn into a draft horse, can't he? Would you like to turn into a horse? Is there other creatures that he's seen that are beasts? What is a giant lizard? That's a large beast. Have a challenge 1/4. Alright, let me look up the druid CR table. 5A. What is he? Circle of the Moon? Circle of Dreams. And he is level 3. So he can turn into creatures of 1/4 and under. So a giant lizard would be 1. He can turn into a giant lizard. What other beasts has he seen? An owl bear is not a beast. It's a monstrosity. A snake. He's seen a giant constrictor snake. That's a challenge rating of 2, so he can't turn into that. He can turn into an owl. So I think it's between giant lizard and draft horse here. I mean, I'll be blown away if you vote for draft horse, but we'll give you the option anyway. Can't do flying or swimming creatures. We haven't seen a boar. We haven't seen a cow. We haven't seen an elk. We haven't seen a giant badger or a giant bat. Have we seen a giant frog? I thought we might have seen a giant frog. Giant poisonous snake, a giant wolf spider, a panther, a pteranodon, a velociraptor, a wolf. Although we haven't seen these things. Lizard. Gary begins transforming. His skin turning scaly, his tongue lashing out, his eyes turning small and beady, these horrible, grotesque lizard-like arms, and his body swells and grows as he transforms into Lizardmon Gary. Giant Lizard Gary. While in this form, Gary has the stats of a giant lizard, but retains his mental stats. He can bite, and that's it. He can bite things. He's got 19 HP and a 12 AC. Now this HP is sitting on top of his HP, so once this gets taken away, he will revert back to his usual form. But it does give you a sort of barrier of HP at least. Okay. Now, I don't think Gary's got anything else he can do on a bonus turn, so it's now the Kruthik's turn. I don't think the Kruthik is even aware that Gary has turned into a giant lizard. It's simply going to continue to try and kill him and eat him. So let's have the attacks as this thing tries to stab Gary with an 11, and the lizard's AC is 12. This thing, you see the creature suddenly recognize that the lizard Gary has now got a much thicker set of skin. A spike towards Seg on a 10 is a miss as well, starting to overwhelm the Kruthik as Seg and Gary proceed with their attacks. It is time for Seg to try and strike the creature again with his longsword. Seg has pack tactics, so he has advantage. That's a crit from Seg. And Seg shoot a poison arrow. Well, from this range, it will have disadvantage. So I'm just going with what seems like the best option. He deals 2 plus 6, 8 slashing damage to this creature. This sword. He does the fucking Omni Slash. The Kruthik looks down. Seg has found all of his weak points. Okay. Lizard. The lizard can only do one thing. Lizard Gary only has the option to bite, so he shall. A 13. He bites down on the Kruthik. The Kruthik moves out of the way, avoiding the attack. We're now just on autoplay because there are really no options for you to do, so you just have to sit and watch me play the fight out. The Kruthik is going to try and once again stab Gary. A natural 1. There is something for you to do. Start rolling d20s. Does a natural 1 stop all further attacks? 5e. I don't see it written anywhere. Right, we take the second roll, so not that 11. The next one. Next roll. A 10. The resolve is broken. You become frightened. It is now frightened of, I guess, Gary. Feared. D&D 5e conditions list, please. Frightened. A frightened creature has a disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within the line of sight. The creature can't willingly move closer to the source of its fear, which means this next attack is made with disadvantage towards Seg. An 11 is a miss as Seg backflips out of the way. Seg's turn. Pack Tactics makes that a 17. It's still a miss. His sword glancing off the hardened chitin skin of the Kruthik. Gary, as a lizard, will attempt to bite the creature. Another miss. Large and lumbering. Gary. These huge, giant lizard jaws clamped down, but the Kruthic has kind of dodged out of the way. Feared and crazy looking. The Kruthic's madness in its eyes. It's still going to attack, but it does so with disadvantage from now on. Disadvantage to strike. An 18 towards Gary is still a hit. It's going to deal 7 piercing damage to giant lizard Gary. And then a spiked attack with disadvantage. An 18 again to Seg. He's going to deal 4 piercing damage. In its chaos, in its fear, the Kruthic spins wildly, its horrible arms lancing out, lashing and striking the giant lizard form of Gary. And then a spike as Seg is struck by it. He looks down, a spike in his back from the Kruthic here. Seg with the counter strike. An advantage on 21 makes that a hit. 9 slashing damage. The thing is looking beat up now. There's 7 HP left. Can Gary bite it? A 22. 10 piercing damage. Just an enormous lizard form of Gary. Grotesque. Part Gary the gnome, part giant lizard. Sig pulls his blade out, hacking away at one of the legs of the Kruthic. The Kruthic sort of slows significantly as an enormous giant lizard and then does that thing that like snakes do. Eats the Kruthic. Slowly over the course of 10 hours, the Kruthic is slowly digested by giant lizard Gary. Gary's just laying there. You know, like how you find a snake and it's clearly eaten a fucking Ford pickup truck. You can see the shape of it. Gary kills the Kruthic. Congratulations. Now that is some XP for you here. 450 XP. Split among 2. 225 XP for Gary. He has 1625, so he's on 1850 XP. He needs 2700 to reach level 4. Seg turns to giant lizard Gary and says, "I didn't know you could turn into a giant lizard." Gary is just like, one of the legs of the Kruthic is just sticking out the side of his giant grotesque lizard form. The emus are nowhere to be seen. You sit in Fury Road. There are a few abandoned little houses around you. What does Gary do? Giant lizard form Gary. How long does wild shape last? Two hours. Okay, short rest, long rest. Lay an egg. Crack open an iron brew. You do have a bag full of iron brew and something else. Search Fury Road for anything useful. Call out to the emus. Write a memoir. And go west. What does Gary do next? 2 more gift subs and we will be able to spin the wheel. Maybe something weird will happen. Maybe your plans won't go to plan. Thank you, April, for the 5 gifted, by the way. Lovely April. Marriage material. On the short list. Attempt to lay an egg. Okay. Okay. I think if you roll a natural 20, you can lay an egg. This is not what I wanted. Start rolling. Exclamation point roll D20 in the chat. You take the second number that's rolled up. If you roll a natural 20, and if we get 2 gift subs, you might be able to get it on this wheel spin before this is locked in. 16. Not that one. The next roll that comes up in the chat room. If you get a natural 20, you lay an egg. Oh fuck. There's one. Shit. There it is. Keep rolling anyway. Because, I mean, you've got a 1 in whatever chance. Oh. Teleport. We've never had this before. We have never had this before. Now, you rolled a 17. Gary spends some time here. And Gary fucking teleports. Does he bring Seg with him? That's the question. For 10 gift subs, you can bring Seg. For 10 gift subs, you can pay to bring your companion. You have until the end of this song. You have until the end of this song. It's not what I wanted. This one. Where are we going? How does teleport work? Riviera, Ray, Shadow, Plumrug, Lux, Gothic Horror. They want to keep Seg. The rest of you want to leave him behind. Will you leave your companion? All streamer mode with emotional blackmail. This game exists only on the fact that I make money from it. If I don't make money on a Sunday, I'm not doing it. It is so much more hard work than a normal stream. I have to monetize it to make it worth my while. I really enjoy it, by the way. I absolutely love this stream every week, but also it's the only thing keeping the tax man off my back. Ooh, just in time. You may bring Seg. Suddenly, Gary vanishes. Now then, how do we work this out? So let's see. Gary is here. 17 miles away. It needs to be more than 17 miles, doesn't it? Let me try and work out how big the world is. It's a tiny world. How long does it take you to get? What does he say?
Alexander, a tiny world will take a person only a matter of weeks to travel from one side to the other.
To travel from one side to the other. So, what does that mean? How long does it take someone to walk from one side from... How far can you travel walking in 2 weeks? Walking in a straight line, how far can you travel in, let's say 4 weeks? How far can a person travel by foot in a month? 20 miles is a reasonable fit for an adult on a good day, assuming the weather and no need for long stops. So an ideal 31-day month, that'd be 620 miles. This needs to reach 620. 620 miles. So that's what? 4? Wait, what was it? Way more. 10. I know some of you would have calculated this with maths. I will not. At 690, I overshot. $650, that'll do. The world is 650 miles across. D4K, thank you for the sub. So, north, northeast, east, southeast, south, right? Let's roll. 1D. What would it be? How many points are there? 8. Direction 5. So what is that? North is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going south. How many miles south? 375. 1D 375. 103 miles south. He's going there. What the fuck is here? Wheel spin. A magic item. Start rolling dice. While I remember where my table is. Here we go. First of all, let's see what thing it is. Not that 20, we take the second roll. The first thing is that there's a wheel spin, so you get a magic item. Now remember, the whole world is a desert apart from the forest, so you're still in the desert. A 6. You get a hat that is always the right size for the wearer. What would you like the hat to look like? Oh my god. Not the history, there's all going to be all sorts of spoilers in there. How does the magic hat look? Now first, Vivi's hat has to be on there. Cowboy hat. A coconut bowl, don't know what that is. Fedora. Hat with propeller. Sombrero. Steampunk top hat. Baseball cap. The choice is yours. A living octopus. You've been watching the boys. It's going to be a hat with a propeller. Okay. It's now time to roll a d20 again to find out what's here. In this part of the world, you've ended up 130 miles or whatever it was away from where you are. Purple Traitor, thank you for the 35-monther, my friend. Random encounter table here. A 13. Oh my god. Okay. I'm going to put into Midjourney the exact words of what is here. See if it can provide for us the appropriate artwork. Gary, as a giant lizard, lands in the sand. Seg, oink, lands on his head. Looks around. Where the fuck are we? Gary pops out of lizard form. It's probably been about 2 hours. Space and time's fucky like that. Bong. He becomes small again. And he's just a gnome laying on his back. As he sits up, he looks to his right and sees a little propeller hat. It's far too big for him. Whoever was wearing it before, this hat was enormous. He picks it up, puts it on his head, and now has a propeller hat. I wonder if I have a propeller hat. No. Snap can. Which one of these looks coolest to me? I think this one does. I think this one does. Save image. Ahead of Gary and Seg is a large structure that appears to be made from stone. Ancient and overgrown, abandoned looking. This thing looks like... You know what? Make me an investigation check. Exclamation point. Roll D20. Let's see if you can figure out what the fuck this is. A sort of brutalist structure. A cube. With an open top and an open doorway. Huge in size. The size of 3 trees by the looks of it. So what's that? 90 feet? A stone structure with ancient wear and tear, symbols and things written all over. What was the roll? Take the second roll. Gary has a +2 to investigation. A 15, a 17. There are runes and images written across the outside of this structure. As Gary starts looking across them, he actually recognizes some of the runes. Seg says to him, "What is this place? We're going in? Where are we? How did we end up here anyway?" Gary says, I got teleported. I think it was Spellwind. Starts looking over the structure. Gary says, "Well, this appears to be a crypt of some sort. But not just any crypt. If these runes are correct, I think this might be the crypt and the ancient resting place of the remains of a powerful jinn." "A jinn? What's a jinn?" "Well, I'll tell you if I know that after we roll another check." Roll me a history check for Gary here. Exclamation point, roll D20 in the chat. See what Gary knows about jinn. There are 3 types of jinn in the world. There's a genie. There's the drink. And there's Jin Kazama, king of the Iron Fist tournament. But which one does Gary have information on? Let's see. A 1. Gin. Oh, that's easy to answer. It's a drink. It's an alcoholic drink. If you've got some soda water or something a little spicy, you know, a lemon or a lime, and you drink it, oh, it's delicious. Oh, right. So inside there's a lot of alcohol, is there? Aye, I would imagine so. This is a pub. Gary thinks this is a pub. This is the sunken crypt of the Jinn. A forgotten crypt said to house the remains of a powerful Jinn, filled with elaborate traps and treasures, and possibly the imprisoned spirit of the Jinn itself. However, Gary and Seg think it's a pub. Does Gary enter the pub? The choice, as always, is yours. Now let's see what Suno created for me. For the theme of the Crypt of the Jinn. Evil. Evil. I wasn't sure if this an undead Jinn, by the way, is going to be something else. Can a Jinn be undead? Is it already? This is an elemental, isn't it? It's already undead, kinda. It's just an endless living being. An undead Jinn's kind of a cool concept, though, isn't it? Okay, you're going in. Sounds like Lux music. This is more like it, maybe. Indiana Jones, baby. Right, let's see here. So, let me create an entire dungeon. Give me a second here. Please do keep giving me some money. No, this one's way better, isn't it? This is the one. Crypt of the Jinn. I'm a little slower than usual when I DM because I'm unwell. Alright, now we need to figure out level is, Gary? 3. Okay, now we need to spin the wheel. Gary and Seg trudge forward. They step underneath the large opening and entrance into this crypt, the sounds of the desert giving way behind them as they step into an echoey open hallway. A set of huge stairs lead down. They begin to climb down them. The steps are huge for Gary's small form. Even Seg, who's only a small kobold, the two of them kind of almost having to hop down each step. Down, down, down. Sand sitting on each step that has fallen in over years and years and years since the crypt's last visitors. There is a smell that begins to permeate the air. A dry sort of rot. Not the smell of death exactly, but just a dry, ancient, undisturbed stench. Eventually, Gary and Seg come to a half-buried obelisk inscribed with ancient runes. There's a mechanism that sits on the back of this obelisk. You can see that it's somewhat mechanical in nature. The obelisk appears to be sort of ornamental, as a limestone thing, but the back of it has a few cogs and lines of rope that run deep into the ground underneath it. You can see the outline of a sort of a trap door almost, to actually gain access into this crypt. Gary will have to figure out how to open that trapdoor, how to get into the crypt itself. The obelisk has a bunch of runes written along the top of it. The first thing that we'll do is have Gary perform an Arcana check or an investigation check. They're the same, so a +2. So let's roll a d20. As you enter into the tomb itself. Let's get some tomb sounds, shall we? We have tomb ambience. What's this? Oh. It's this one. What have you rolled? A 1. We take the second roll here. Thank you for the gift subs. Riviera, Bubu, my love. Ray, Shadow. Bubu's coming to my house tomorrow. Can't wait to hang out. She said she's going to make me a cup of tea and some chicken soup. What did you roll? Keep rolling. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Get the shopping list ready. A 16 +2. Gary looks over these runes and recognizes that they are it's a pattern that is a sort of arcane understanding. It is a sort of arcane version of binary. essentially. Ones and zeros. Nothing but ones and zeros here. Some of the ones and zeros on this obelisk appear to be different. The way that they've been carved is deeper and more pronounced than some of the other ones. Let's have Gary roll an investigation check to see if he can determine what that means for this puzzle. So another set of rolls, please. We have +2 to investigation, and we must spin the wheel. Thank you very much, Hawk the Hunter. Welcome in. We're playing D&D. We're currently exploring this crypt, the sunken crypt of the Jinn, which our character, Gary, it is a Gary artwork. Gary has accidentally teleported to due to a magic event. They've decided to go inside, unaware of what it is, thinking it to be a pub. Gary and his trusty companion, Seg. And let's spin a wheel while you roll that d20. You get an item, so we'll roll for that after this. There is a pay-to-win element to this game because it's the only way I make money. Every sub and every gift sub contributes to a potential wheel spin on which there are lots of very random things that could happen, including being teleported halfway across the world, 103 miles away. A 15 plus 2 is a 17. Continue rolling because you get a magic item as well. So keep rolling there. I know that sometimes when there's not as many people in here, the rolls take a little bit longer to get through. There's really nothing I can do about it other than keep changing the dice roller every week, or maybe goddamn show up every goddamn week. Yeah, Gary starts looking over these runes and recognizes that that the patterns of the ones and zeros are representative of the sort of gridded slabs of stone that sit around where this trapdoor is. The ones representing one side, the zeros representing the other. Tentatively testing what might happen with the slabs of stone. Gary presses one of them with a foot. Recognizing it's a pressure plate, Gary begins to press each of the plates that represent the ones and zeros on the obelisk with the pressure plates on the ground next to the trapdoor. Now, what did you get? 14? No, next one. Keep rolling. Oh, it is a 14? Okay, a 14. Let's see what item you get. Should have kept that open and I didn't. You've got a lot of items today, huh? A 14 is... Sitting next to the obelisk is a small statue, a humanoid statue. Its facial expression is one of terror. Do you take the statue? Do you take the statue? Hi, Floral. I miss you. I'm sorry. I've been so absent. I mean, I've been absent from the entire world, apart from a couple of streams here and there, and maybe a little bit of PUBG in the evening to try and make myself feel human. How big is it? It's like an Oscar size. Made of stone. Sort of a white limestone. Very old looking. Lifting it, it's not too heavy. You'd expect it to be heavier. Yes. You take the statue and continue to sort of transcribe the Indiana Jones and continue to transcribe the runes and figure out what they mean. Eventually hitting the last pressure plate. The door opens. Another stairway leading downwards. The air fills with a pungent scent, as if this hasn't been opened in so long that the air had been trapped down in this thing. There is a much deeper and much muskier scent of ancient absence that comes up as this thing opens. The stairs continue to lead down. Again, Seg, thank you Liam for the subs, thank you Anonymous for the sub to Floral. Seg and Gary with their much smaller forms trying to move down these steps. The steps would probably be quite large for even a human to walk down. This building, this structure, seems to have been built for a much larger group of people. Whoever built this certainly were not small folk like gnomes or hobbits, and were probably larger than humans or your average kind of elf or something like that. As the two of them continue to step further down into this crypt, you eventually start hearing a kind of sound moving upwards, step after step after step. Eventually, Seg and Gary step into a chamber. In this chamber, it's a pretty large room here, but the floor is covered in a constant shifting sand. The entire room ahead of you appears to be covered in this unstable sand. At the far end of the room, you can see an open doorway that will lead you into the next chamber. I ask, as I often do, what does Gary do now? The hall of shifting sands before you. The choice is yours. Seg turns to Gary and says, I don't know if this is actually a pub. Take a rest. Throw something into the sand. Wait for the hostess. Does the sand look like it's been disturbed by some sort of wind, like it's being blown around, or is there rolling, or is there something underneath it? That is called an investigation check. Build a sand castle. I'll do. Centillion. a giant book out in front of him. Enormous spectacles on Gary. Does the sand look as if it's shifting and... That would be an investigation check, though, I think. And we'll give you answers to that question. It was a fair question. Some good questions from Centillion. A solid player, but you will be ribbed and attacked for being a nerd. It's just the rules. At least he didn't say I roll investigation. Yeah, that's true. I've been pissing myself laughing at Critical Role where they just scream insight check. And that every time. The curse of being a DM. An investigation check is what you're going to do here. Alright, start rolling me dice. You have a +2 to your investigation. Gary's stats are available. You can look at them. ! Character sheet, I think is what it is, right? The exclamation points are on top of the stream in the title there. You can bring up his character sheet, including his spell sheet. And 18, we take the second roll, so keep rolling. Gotta flush out the previous rolls before we take the new one. Procedurally generated game right here. Everything that is happening is I have not written anything down. I prepare almost nothing before these. We jump in and we go. Everything has been randomized. The entire world was generated on dice rolls, the characters, and now this dungeon is partly created by ChatGPT and partly created by my dying brain. A 6 plus 2 is an 8. So the original question here was, does the sand look like it's being disturbed by some sort of wind, like it's being blown around, or is it rolling like there's something pushing it up from underneath? Looking over this thing, and an 8 is a pretty low roll, but it's also quite easy to tell. This is an ancient fucking crypt. The technology here is very basic. It's been designed to look one way, but is actually being sort of so old. Parts of this world now have magitech and steampunk technology. This is pulleys and pressure plates. Gary looks over this thing. He's not sure exactly how it works. The sand is moving in these kind of strange ways. There is a set of nozzles, there is a set of pressure plates, and there is a set of pulleys that are moving this sand. The areas where the sand pushes and rolls off of some of these plates reveal to Gary that it's just a bunch of pressure plates moving up and down constantly, creating this shifting sands effect that is moving across this room. There is a lot going on though. There is lots of plates, there is lots of hidden mechanisms, there's lots of pulleys and things that are moving this thing around. The sand itself is moving around on top of an end of pressure plates. Yeah, okay, that's what you said. I said it 3 times. What does Gary do now? We can just take this again. And any other suggestions? Crystal Maze, Aztec World. God, I love the Crystal Maze. Any other suggestions? And if you haven't got any smart suggestions, we'll just take these 5 things again. Okay. Let's see. You can take a rest here. You can throw something into the sand. You can wait for the hostess. You can roll an investigation check to sort of look further around, and you can build a sand castle. Those are the options. What would you like Gary and Seg to do? The Hall of Shifting Sands laid before you. Underground in the ancient sunken crypt of the Jinn. Is this Gary's first dungeon? I haven't done a proper dungeon yet, have I? This is it. Welcome to Gary's first dungeon. And thank you very much for watching the stream today. Thank you for the gift subs. I'm in dire need of them. I've just paid my tax and I'm hurting. I've also spent 2 weeks off because I've been very unwell, which has undoubtedly damaged my bottom line this month. Luckily it was my birthday and I managed to do a birthday stream, so I think that might keep me afloat, but the panic and the fear still exist. Take a rest. And then throw something into the sand. We'll take both of these. We'll take both of them. The shifting sands here at the end of this very long stairway are constantly moving. Gary sits down watching these sands. It's kind of relaxing, I think. Meditative. Seg sits down. The two of them take a look over their wounds. After the fight with the crew thick, they've still got a couple of these puncture wounds. Gary does some basic work to wrap these wounds. Seg does the same to himself. And the two of them begin to take a rest. We'll do a short rest because I don't think you burn through like one spell and one Balm of the Summer Court and one Wild Shape actually. So we'll go with a short rest for now. And we'll heal using hit dice. 4 HP, 14. Let's do another one. 7. That brings him up to full, right? 14. No, it brings him up to 21. Still has that one temporary hit point, which probably doesn't anymore, but I'll let him keep because I forgot about it. Seg can also heal up. I think that's the artwork of Seg. There he is. The Rambo of the Swamp. Trusty Seg. Don't know. Seg's at full health, but we'll just try and remember it. Nothing happens in this room. There isn't any sort of random attack or anything. Just the shifting sands. As Seg and Gary rest for an hour or two. After some time, Gary decides to throw something into the thing. So you have a limestone statue. What are we throwing in? You got a few potions. You got the master ball containing Rythnaks, cloth of gold vestments. You got some coins, mess kit, rations. You've got a bunch of iron brew. You've got an iron pot. What does Gary throw? Iron brew, torch, Seg. Any other suggestions? A stone, a statue. Put a coin in there as well because that's quite classic, isn't it? All right, we'll go with those for now. Iron brew, torch, Seg, stone, the statue, and a coin. Don't take any of my suggestions to mean anything, by the way. I just write stuff on there just to fill it out if you guys haven't written anything very quickly. If you're like, well, he wrote coin, so that's probably the answer, you're dumb. That's not how my brain works. I can fully partition my brain between being a DM, between Bling being a DM and being an impartial player. And that's because I'm the world's greatest living role player. And my name is Orcish. It's between iron brew and stone. A stone. In a minute. A stone. Okay. Gently sifting sands of the room continue to move. Eventually, Gary picks up a stone, a hefty palm-sized stone in one of his 4 hands that he has. Ping! And just launches it over and into the shifting sands. Let's have Gary start rolling me a d20. We'll just have him make a dexterity check here. So there's a +1 to this. Let's see. Start rolling d20s. Exclamation point roll d20 in the chat room. Let's see. An 18 will take the second roll. Take the second roll here. +1 to his dex. Keep rolling. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. A 7. That's an 8. You just see Gary throw this stone. It hits the sand. Tumbles over in the sand. The sands continue to... Nothing. Nothing happens. What does Gary do? Next. The choice is yours, my friends. Try to thorn whip web sling across sand. Balance over to the other side. Contemplate nothingness. Enlightenment. Walk over it. It's going to be another situation like the door. The door was unlocked. Cast warding wind to blow the sand away. With no grapple or bow or anything like that. Call Rindor to fly over and check the other side. Okay. One of these is a great idea. One of them is terrible. But which? Find out in 1 minute. 3 more gift subs and you can spin the wheel. Maybe something will come of that. Maybe it will be awful. Maybe it will not. Maybe. Just maybe. If I have any subterranean maps. Look, I have a lot of good maps for things like this. Cast warding wind to blow the sand away. Have a read of what that does. Warding wind, a level 2 spell. A strong wind 20 miles per hour blows around you in a 10-foot radius and moves with you, remaining centered on you. The wind lasts for the spell's duration, which is 10 minutes. The wind has the following effects. It deafens you and other creatures in its area. It extinguishes unprotected flames. It hedges out vapor, gas, and fog that can be dispersed by a strong wind. The area is difficult terrain. The attack rolls of ranged weapons have disadvantage if the attacks pass in or out of the wind. Okay. Okay. Gary begins to float upwards, his feet knocking together as he begins to summon up the element of the wind. Avatar: The Last Airbender. He gets an arrow on the top of his head that comes down and starts glowing blue. His eyes turn white. A wind gathers around him and begins to blow the sand. Ahead of him, 10 feet in front of him, the first area of the shifting sand all blows away, revealing the mechanisms very clearly underneath. Looking over them, Gary can potentially figure out everything he needs to know about this with an investigation check, with advantage. Start rolling. You take the higher of the last two numbers that are rolled. You have a +2 to investigation here. Cal, thank you for the 72 monther. Chen Riviera, thank you so much for the gift subs. One away from a wheel spin. We're not taking that 4. We take the higher of the next two rolls. What's it gonna be? Boys. What's it gonna be, boys? So an 8. Higher of the next one then, I guess. A 19 +2 is a 21. Okay. Yeah, looking over this, Gary sort of looks across the now very clear set of pressure plates and hidden mechanisms that were underneath the sand. Slowly but surely he pieces together that there are areas of the floor that are incredibly unstable, and stepping on certain points will trigger a collapse, which would either cause the person standing on top of it to fall suddenly into a hidden pit, or, you know, fall into the mechanisms being crushed, fall into one of these pits and be covered by the shifting sands. There are also other pressure plates that are around the edges that trigger hidden nozzles that will blast sand at high speed, potentially injuring or blinding the person who might step on them. It's very easy for Gary to navigate across this set of shifting sands now. He guiding Seg, but in fact, you know what happens? He does like this very careful kind of set of steps, moving across each of the plates and the steps that won't actually trigger any of these traps, causing him to fall or causing the pressure plates to activate the hidden nozzles. It takes him a little while to move across these things. You see him kind of jumping from plate to plate, from left to right, stepping across these things, but he doesn't need to make any checks because it's not that difficult. It's not like he's having to really struggle. He's just being very cautious and moving across the chamber. At the far end of the chamber, there is an inscription on the wall which details the safe path across the hall. However, he's already made it across. I'd say 10 minutes pass, the spell drops, and we see, like in Skyrim, when you walk across like a bunch of traps and you look back and your companion just walks across stepping on every single trap, is what Seg does. You've made it to the other side. Nice, nicely done. Once you get to the other side, Gary sort of looks to Seg, and Seg says, "I really don't think this is a pub, you know." Gary says, "Hey, I don't think it is, but we've started now, haven't we? We might as well see what's in here. I mean, It's a bit weird if it is a pub. Imagine being drunk and trying to get across that there shifting sands hole. Gary and Seg step from this chamber into the next. A set of mirrors sits in this next room, moving slowly and shifting on a set of kind of tram lines along the ground. Huge mirrors that run from the ceiling down to the floor, moving. A horrible sense of vertigo of these sort of illusory kind of mirrors, these kind of endless reflections of the room and of Gary and of Seg are moving endlessly through here. There's no clear path through, but you can see the ground, you can see the ceiling, so you can see where you need to move through, but these slowly moving mirrors sliding around the room create an immediate sense of confusion, misleading Gary and Seg as they kind of look about the room. What does Gary do? Warding wind has expired. Shapeshifting to a hedgehog. It took you about 10 minutes to get across the last chamber. Start smashing mirrors. Drink an iron brew. Trust in his 2D view to keep him sane. Investigation. Check. Examine mirrors closely. Breathe on the mirror and write a cheeky note. Cast minor illusion at the mirrors. Tell Seg to look in the mirror. What would you like to do? The choice is yours. Ow. Examine the mirrors closely and spin the wheel is the answer here. Let's spin the wheel first, I think. Thank you, Lux. Lux pulled the lever. What is that? What is that one? I can't fucking read it. Why didn't it give me the result? Oh, it's a potion. Okay, roll me a d20. Get a random potion. Oh, no. Don't roll me a d20. Forget it. I gave up with my random potions. I'm just going to generate one on randompotiongenerator.com. Okay. Sitting in a... As the sort of the warding wind dissipates here, it blows some of the sand away and of a particular small sort of sand dune that's amassed on the ground, and underneath it is a potion. Gary leans down, picks it up in one of his four hands, and sees that inside is a nearly solid liquid that is sort of charcoal in color. It's in a mason jar. Give me an investigation check. +2 to your investigation. See if Gary knows what this potion is for. Second one, not that 10. Let's see if Gary can figure out what this one is for. An 18 +2 is a 20, a dirty 20. This is a potion that Gary recognizes. With this potion, you're able to pass through walls that are 1 foot thick, like a ghost, for 1d4 minutes. Would you like to immediately fucking drink the potion? Of all the potions to get, you fucking jammy little bastards. You so jammy. You guys are so jammy. You know that, right? The amount of times that you have it wiggled out of little bullshit moments. Oh, you're not going to drink it? Okay. All right. Fair enough. It is narratively, it is brilliant that this potion is here. Someone left it for the next person to come through. But you've chosen not to drink it. Okay. Well, it might come in handy later on. A potion of... I don't know what his name is. Wall walking. You're able to pass through walls that are 1 foot thick, like a ghost, 1d4 minutes. Okay. All right. Well then, what was the what was the answer on the previous vote? Forgotten. Did we even do it? Investigate the mirrors. Okay. Roll an investigation check then. Start rolling. +2 again. Do a general investigation check for the mirrors in the room. I have a +2 to this, so exclamation point, roll d20 in the chat room. It will roll a bunch of dice and it will pick one at random. And we're going to take the second roll. Not that 14 from Lolly. Next one that comes through. What's it gonna be? A 19, another 21. Fuck's sake. You guys are really good at this. You look around the chamber. Gary spends some time following some of the mirrors, watching the way that they move about, watching the sort of the little grooves that are in the ground. These mirrors certainly look breakable. They definitely seem breakable. However, as some time passes, some broken mirrors come forward. As the broken mirrors pass, Gary recognizes underneath each of the the broken mirrors, there are little ancient, dried out looking sacks. Presumably when you break one of these mirrors, you can potentially break the sack underneath it and release a poisonous gas from some of these mirrors. Breaking the mirrors could potentially be dangerous. Taking a little bit longer since you rolled so high here. Gary sort of follows some of these mirrors. He looks at the walls on either side of this chamber, also covered in mirrors to add to the confusion. Gary recognizes that you can actually manually move some of the mirrors that are on the walls here. Tentatively moving one of the mirrors a little bit, he begins to piece together that the mirrors that are on the walls can be adjusted to reveal the true path through the chamber. Let's see, let's have you make, and this one's going to be rough, a perception check to see if you can figure out how to do this. Now the problem with Gary's perception is Gary can only see in 2D due to a curse. I don't know what that means, but that's how he sees the world. He's in Paper Mario. So he has a -1 to his perception checks here. You've got to beat a 14 to do this successfully. That's an 8. We take the second roll though. Let's see. Gary's perception check, -1 to this. A 13, a 12 is a failure. Gary adjusts some of these mirrors. His vision, plagued by the fact that this is all in 2D, Seg just watching Gary start getting to work here, moving from one mirror to another, one wall to another. He slowly begins to piece together a path. He says, I've done it. I've bloody done it, Seg. I've figured out the true path through the chamber. It was all in the mirrors on the sides here. Now, the last couple of days my vision's been kind of strange. Can't explain it. Everything looks flat. But, never you mind. I've done it. Come on, follow me. And he starts walking through the mirror room. At some point, there is a horrible as you activate a trap. Would you like to activate trap 1 or trap 2? Which trap would you like to activate? Trap 1 or trap 2? The choice is yours. Shadow's like, fuck you, dude. I'm gonna fucking Deus Ex Machina out of this bullshit right now. With Father's credit card. The most powerful magic in this world. You fool. I have a trap card of my own. Which trap would you like to activate, chat? Trap 1 or trap 2? We can add a third trap. Alright, someone break this tie. Who wants to break the tie here? Okay, trap 1. Alright. Make me a dexterity saving throw, please. You have a +1 to your dexterity saving throw. Start rolling. suddenly, stepping through this thing, you hear a and then you hear several false doors trigger. Poison dart traps from the walls. Poison darts launching at Gary, launching at Seg. Let's make a dex save for Seg as well. Natural 1 for Seg. What does Gary get? Gary's got a +1 to his check here. Is that 18 the right one? It is, right. An 18 +1, a 19. Gary doing crazy moves as the darts whip past him, striking the other side of the wall, striking the mirrors. Oh. Well, thank God for that. I managed to avoid every single one of those darts. Turns around and Seg is like a pincushion, filled with 2d6 poison darts. Good. Fuck that up. Seg takes 4 poison damage. Where is Seg's fucking sheet here? He's on 13 HP. He's on 9 HP.
Ow! Oh, the fish are
Seg is poisoned and fucked up. Okay. Make me another perception check, please. Let's see if you can figure out the second half of this room. I'll give you advantage because you've done half of it already. We'll take the higher of the next 2 rolls, but Gary does have a -1 to perception. But not that 8. We'll take the higher of the next 2 rolls here. Keep rolling. You know what time it is. My neighbors think I'm insane. I've got all the windows open.
I'm getting paid. Alright, this is how I earn my fucking living. Alright, shut your mouth, I'm at work. Enjoy your Sunday sat on your ass. I'm bloody out here working, ain't I? Slaving away.
What have you got? Keep rolling. An 11. Can you beat an 11? You got to beat a 14, so let's hope you can. Or become trapped in the Antichamber of illusions. Forever, ever. Welcome to the Antichamber of illusions. Keep rolling, baby. A 14. You've done it. No, you haven't, because it's -1. A 13. You fail again. An illusory floor underfoot gives way or doesn't. Your foot doesn't. Gary's foot does not touch ground. Oh, this is also a perception check. This isn't a... I thought this would be a dex save, but this is actually a perception check to notice it. Let's go. You got to beat a 12 this time. This was the other trap. A perception check, please. You have a -1. I don't know why I'm sitting like this. Because my arms feel so weird. Because I have no... I know it looks like no different. But my body feels so weird. I lost so much weight. Been eating anorexia shakes. Not that 12, the next roll. The next one. You got to beat a 12 though. A 5, you fail. Gary falls into a hole. A pit. A 10-foot deep pit filled with spikes. So that is This is brutal. 1d6 bludgeoning damage. 2 bludgeoning damage. And then you land on a bunch of fucking spikes and take 2d6 piercing damage. 11. Fuck, he gets fucked up. He gets absolutely fucked up here. Gary walking along. That's right. I figured it out, Seg. I figured it out this time. Don't you worry about that. We're just gonna have to walk through. Seg, filled with darts.
Oh shit. Where'd you go? Gary, where are ya?
Oh, shite, Seg. Throw a rope down, will you? Oh, fuck, there's spikes. I've landed on lots of spikes. Oh, they've gone through me calf. Oh, that's... Oh, aye, one's gone through me lung. Oh, that was awful. That was a long drop, too.
I can't see you, Gary. I can't see anything. My eyes have swollen over.
After some time, Seg is able to get a rope down to Gary. Gary climbs up out of it, and the two of them, battered and broken, take a few more steps and make it out of the Antichamber of Illusions. Because that's the rules of this room. You failed twice.
Oh shit. I don't feel so well.
Gary says,
Oh, I've got holes. I'm riddled with holes.
you step out of the Antichamber of Illusions with all of the mirrors, and you step into a narrow hallway where the walls are covered in scratches and sort of chalk drawings, childish chalk drawings, strange scratched chicken scratch sort of doodles of weird kind of spirits and ghosts all across the room here. You also notice that the walls seem to whisper. Strange, bizarre whispering noises coming from these walls as Gary stumbles in, bleeding from several wounds. Seg covered in poison darts, his eyes swelling closed like that image of Bear Grylls when he got stung by the bee. And the two of them step into this room with the whispers coming from the walls. Lots of strange drawings of ghostly figures all over the walls too. What does Gary do? I wanted the creepy song. This one. Yes. Remember when I needed that creepy song? Okay. Healing spirit for Seg. Short rest. Spells and stuff to heal. Rests and stuff to heal. Those are your options. This seems to be all you want to do. Don't heal. Press on. That's the other option, isn't it? The old Mistlight Whispers always coming around to help me out in times of clutch DMing need. Spells and stuff to heal, rests and stuff to heal. Don't heal, press on. Be a man. Rests. Okay. Long rest. Short rest. The long rest will be a full sort of 8-hour rest with sleep and food where you set up a camp in this creepy room and regain your hit points, hit die, and spell slots back, as well as all of your abilities. A short rest, you spend a hit die, your remaining hit die, to get a little bit of health back, and any abilities that come back on a short rest will also yeah. A long rest. In order to rest in this chamber, you will need to make a DC 13 Wisdom saving throw. The whispers are the whispers of those who died here, now and then manifesting as ghostly apparitions. Very difficult to rest in this room. Very difficult. It's so difficult to rest that if you don't pass this wisdom saving throw, you cannot rest. We're not taking that 4, we'll take the next one. You've got to beat a 13, so a Seg. A wisdom saving throw from Seg, a 9. There's a failure from Seg. He gains nothing from this rest. He gains nothing from this rest. But will Gary find out right now? A 10. Gary's wisdom save is a +3. So Gary actually does get the effects of a long rest. He sits and relaxes to the best of his ability, and while the whispers are kind of strange and creepy, eventually he comes to peace with them. They're not so frightening. They're just trying to have a conversation. They're just trying to chat. They're just letting you know that they died here, that this place is their final resting place, that they don't mean any direct harm. After a small nap, a little bit of food, and some time to relax, patching up some of his wounds, Gary feels much better and looks over at Seg, who is a fucking nervous wreck.
Fucking hell, I hate this place. Can we just fucking get out of here?
Would you like to heal Seg with spells? Yes. No. Seg is on 9 of 13 HP, so you can probably just bang a summer bomb at him. one of 3 of your D6 summer bombs. Yes. Okay. Let's consume a summer balm, summer court, balm of the summer court. McLotion. 1d6. 6. Okay, he's back to full health. Back to full health. This is a very long hallway. The whispers and the sort of creepy drawings continue along this hallway, eventually giving way to another set of steps that lead further down, down, down into... Good timing. The final chamber. What do you want to happen before I tell you anything? What do you want to happen now? You can have anything. Deus Ex Machina. You can have anything within reason. Nothing annoying or game breaking or boring. Oh, we complete the game. A pub appears with gin. Plus 20 permanent HP. Nickelback concert. Gary grows 6 inches. Both Seg and Gary level up. Free cake. Resurrect all the ghosts. Gary grows 2 more arms. Okay, there you go. A pub appears. The final chamber. Plus 20 permanent HP. Nickelback concert. Gary grows 6 inches. Both Seg and Gary level up. Free cake. Resurrect all the ghosts. Gary grows 2 more arms. You'd have so many arms. I feel like at that point, surely it would damage your dexterity. I'll roll. I'll roll to determine whether it gives him more or less dex. If that one fucking wins. A spider. I'll give him spider climb. That's what I'll do instead. Fair enough. Spider-Man when he actually turned into a spider. You remember that? Fucking spider climb. No cake. I'd love it. If you use that Deus Ex Machina on free cake, I would have given you an inspiration point. Centillion is so angry at you guys for having fun and not min-maxing right now. The fucking... If you're going to be on Reddit later on. You're going to be on Reddit later on. Some people were having fun and not completely min-maxing and winning the game. Here are my top 44 rules for D&D. Centillion wrote them. 20 HP is very strong though, you're right. There's a couple of strong ones in there. I mean, a straight up level up would be good too. It'd take you forever to get to the next level, but you'd get it early, I guess. I did say whatever you want within reason. I think a level up is about the sort of top end maximum Deus Ex that I'll allow. Gary grows 2 more arms. It's so stupid. He's got 6 arms. Walking along. Piccolo style. 2 more arms grow out. Seg goes, ugh! What the fuck? And Gary goes, oh, yeah, it happens. Okay, don't judge people for it. I got 6 arms, okay? Alright? It's normal. I think I can climb walls. Now, what do we want? Spider. Isn't there like... Yeah, fuck it. Gary can cast Spider Climb at will. Spider. I'm just gonna give him Spider. Spider Climb. Source. Other. 6 arms. Gary gains the ability to move up, down, and across vertical surfaces and upside down along ceilings while leaving his hands free. Gary also gains a climbing speed equal to his walking speed. You took 6 arms. 6 arms. Just as the arms pop out, Gary steps over the threshold into the final chamber. A large, ornate room containing the sarcophagus of the undead Jinn, surrounded by treasures and guarded by powerful wards. Suddenly, as you step into the room with Seg behind,
who dares enter my chamber?
That's where we end today's session, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining. We play D&D here every Sunday at 2 p.m. UK time, 9 a.m. Eastern USA time, or whatever that is for the rest of you elsewhere. Sundays is Twitch Plays D&D. If you'd like to watch other D&D, might I suggest Table Story. Table Story is a D&D channel co-created by me and some of my friends, run by me and some of my friends, and we have really fucking good shows on there on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays at the moment. Soon we're going to be doing some Oracle's Rest Live, which is an offline game very similar to this, just levels of bullshit with lots of players. But you can watch my show Cura on Tuesdays on Table Story if you want. We've also got a Pathfinder campaign on Mondays with Wax Steven as the GM of that. If you're interested in watching a little bit more of a legit attempt at running a D&D game, less silly, more legit. And Fridays we have what can only be described as a bizarre puppet show in Ungodly, The Lost Sea Sun. So tune in and check those out if you'd like. There will almost definitely be a Cura this week. I've had 2 weeks off because I've been very unwell, but there should be a Cura this week. And if you just want to play D&D in the chat here and get involved again next week, I'll see you next Sunday. Thank you for watching the stream. Thank you again, everybody that gifted subs here. I really appreciate it. Gloomy Girl, Ray, Plumrug, Shadow, Lux, Cal for the last few there. Really appreciate it. These are the streams that get me through the week in turn. This is what pays for my fucking pasta and my nutrient shakes that I'm having to take to recover some of my lost weight. It's been an expensive couple of weeks for me. So thank you again. I really appreciate it. I hope you had fun. I'm on the road to recovery. I'll be back tomorrow, either playing PUBG or Mass Effect. I'll sort of just see how it goes. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Let's go see the bacon bus himself. And we'll see you next week for the final chamber, the Jinn's Rest. Good night, everyone. Peace.
In the last little forest, untamed and left wild, where lives a small person, but he's not a child. A leader of men, a leader of more. He's listening, Gabe, he's ready for war. A powerful druid, but he cannot fly. He's in love with death, but he cannot die. His name is Gary, and this is his story. His name is Gary, revel in his glory. It's scary, but no more he can. It's scary, fuck yeah, move a dick. His name is Gary, and this is his story. His name is Gary, revel in his glory. It's scary,